Hey guys, welcome back to the 415 podcast. It's your girls, Miss B and Keita here. Oh snap, y'all ready to see we got a guest over here. What? Mr. Josh Powell. Ow. Wait, y'all acting like y'all don't know who he is. Y'all don't know who he is. This man is doing big things, okay? He's a busy, busy man. We're excited to have him on episode 124. You cut out that 1, 2, and 4 is in there. So, I mean, if you can't catch that,
Big
let me
bro.
break it down. Let me break it down, okay?
You heard?
This man, Josh Powell, is a 2-time NBA champ with the LA Lakers. He is dubbed the Give Back Kid. He has his own foundation, 21 Reasons to Give. Come on, he has his own shirts. Come on, Queens. Come on, Kings.
My kid shirts.
The kid shirts? Okay, come on now, the kid shirts.
Family hustle, baby. Family hustle.
That's
Family
it.
hustle.
Look, he's doing big things. He's also a coach. Skill Set Academy. Look,
Plug it in, Queen. Go ahead, plug it. Go ahead, plug it.
he is doing it. Look, and if y'all didn't know this, he played overseas too. So let's talk about it. So yeah,
and don't forget the big three.
Oh yeah, the big three. Come on,
And
on
also
now.
with big three, he also doing community.
Ooh, come on and grab it. Y'all better grab this. Yes.
Hey.
So we got a lot to unpack here. We are just so happy that you are taking the time out of your super busy schedule to kind of, chop it up with us.
Really appreciate that.
We super appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
Welcome to the 415 podcast. How you doing?
I'm good. God is good.
Hey, come on this good Sunday and the first Sunday.
And I'm telling you, and I get to do this good show with two wonderful queens. So I'm ready to dive in. Let's get it.
Let's go. So so you were born in Charleston?
Born in Charleston, yes. And I've been pretty much Atlanta since a young child.
Wow.
Right after I was like 2 or 3. So
you were really young. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've been playing ball since when?
I actually started with baseball and football first, and then I came into basketball a little bit later. But I was trying to stay out of trouble. That was initially the goal, and then it kind of turned into some other things.
So was that like you got into it like neighborhood friends or just?
Well, I guess kind of, sort of. You know what I mean? People just doing stuff and just trying to figure out a way to wear some energy out. I'm guessing that's why my mom or my grandparents had me doing stuff. So
that's good.
Oh, trust me, I get. I got a 10-year-old. I get.
Yeah, I believe that. That's what's up. So, what are the ages of your kids?
I have a 14-year-old. I have an 11-year-old. I have a 10-year-old, 5-year-old, and I have a 2-month-old.
Oh my goodness!
What? Congrats.
We love to see. We love it.
Yes.
Love it. Oh my gosh! Girl dad, boy dad.
Yeah, I got a good combination of both. I'm blessed. I can't complain.
I love it. We're again just so happy to have this conversation with you, man. I'm like so we met last year at the Community event.
Yeah.
We were pretty much, I was trying to get it together because I didn't know nothing about photography or anything. So that was the first time I was ever really shooting anything. But we were there for the relationship panel. And all I know is I was like, yo, he is so tall. He has to have played. He had to. And you were so welcoming because you were talking with Aaron from Ready to Love. Y'all were in a super deep conversation on the stairs, and I was like, yo, Keita, let's go over there and say something. Let's say, and then I was like, I don't really want to interrupt. But we just walked over. We did what we do because we're Aries, so we just super bold.
Yeah.
And
what y'all think about the event though?
It was so good. It was really good. Just hearing the male perspective and the women talking, and then everybody was just so easy to walk up to and have a conversation. So I just thought it was just a really dope event.
I think that was my third community event I had been to for Chanel. So yeah, it was cool. I like those.
Blew
I
out
like
for that.
Yeah, I always tell people, like, when I talk about it, it's just like the events that we've done. It just feels like there's a spirit in the building. It's like it's very strong energy, but it's very positive. You know, a lot of people really opening up about a lot of things in their life, and it's like coming to church.
Yes.
In a sense, you know what I mean? And we dug deep that day. I mean, all of them, but I mean, it, you know, especially being in Atlanta, like, we really dug deep. It was a really good event.
Right.
I think it's good because a lot of men and women can actually come into a space and hear each other out.
Yeah.
Without somebody, you know, over talking the other person. You actually get to hear what the other person has to say, their point of view of, you know, of life. So that's always good.
Yeah.
And that's important, and I feel like that's how we bridge the gap, though. You know, I think that a lot of times, especially when we're talking about people that we care about, you know, we're not really hearing, we're not listening to them to hear what they're saying, you know, because we're so emotionally driven or led, you know. I think that was a good example of how you can still have very difficult conversations, but you can still hear one another and come from a place of love and remove
that part,
you know, the ego or the pride, and really try to understand one another. So, you know, that's one of the things that we're definitely trying to, you know, make an example of how men and women can communicate and how we can agree or how we can agree to disagree, as long as there's some type of understanding. And even if you don't understand, you can still respectfully walk away from a conversation and not feel like, you know, you haven't been heard or feeling like the other person was attacking you or this, that, and the third. So that's, you know, those are a lot of things that are important, that are a part of healthy communication, and that helps definitely build a better, stronger relationship.
Right. Agreed.
That is true. That is very true.
Wow. So let's talk about 21 Reasons to Give. I see 21 is a very, very important number.
It is.
So can you break down that number? Like, what does it symbolize? Because you've worn that number on various teams.
I have, like, so for me, at the beginning of it, because initially my first number was 33. Like, that's what I wore.
Jesus
and
number.
I know my I know my mom wore 33 back when she like, that's why I fell in love with the game of basketball, because I saw my mom playing.
Wow, mom playing?
So my mom was a hooper growing up, and she was in this, like, she would play in this, like, what was it, like a 30, is like a 30 and up or a 40 and up, but whatever, like, she was hooping, you know what I'm saying? Like, and when I saw that, I was just like, man. So when I started playing, I was like, shit, I want that number.
Right.
Why not?
That's what I started. Yeah, and that's what I started wearing. And then I had always loved the number 21 because one of my favorite players that I enjoyed watching growing up was Kevin Garnett. So he wore number 1, and that's, you know, kind of where that came from. But I mean, as I've grown and, you know, start getting into different things and meanings and stuff like that, you know, I started to understand that there's something very special to that number. And it's actually, from my understanding, it's one of those angel numbers. So very deep, you know, behind. But that was how I came into 21. And when I first started really wearing it when I was with the Clippers, because 33 was taken, because everywhere I'd been, no, excuse me, I think it might have been Golden State. Yep. Because when I started after the Dallas Mavericks, which I started wearing 33, then the number was taken when I went to the Pacers. I think I was 33 with the Pacers. I think I was 21 with Golden State, and it just kept going from there.
Wow.
So
That's what's up. So, like, with the foundation, like, how was that birthed?
So I was just trying to come up with a crafty play on words.
Yep.
And to be honest, I saw that who was one of my other teammates, Devin Harris had like a foundation. It was called 34 Ways to Assist or something like that.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, that's smooth. So I was like, let me think of something. One reasons to give, like just came. I was like, I love that. Let me just
right.
Yeah, and you have some good reasons too. I was like, man, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I was reading through them. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, and I'm still, so I'm revamping and doing some different things, but I'm still, you know what I mean, gonna keep the principles. The reason it's like that is because I love to have, you know, different ways of serving. I understand the foundation, you know, in the giving back world, people want you to stick to one mission, one this, one that. And my heart just doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? I want to be able to do things in a way that I can touch people in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to do that. But, you know, you got to play that game. So stop anything. But I've been blessed and fortunate where I've had a chance to do so many different things, especially that are, you know, it doesn't necessarily always have to be like basketball involved. You know what I mean? So just being able to take care of families during the holidays, feed, you know, the homeless, mentor. It's crazy. Like yesterday, I just gave away 20 pair of shoes. Jordan, Kobe's. One of my boys needed some shoes for some of the young players that he coaches, and like, you know, he does a lot of stuff with AAU and stuff like that. So I was just like, here, you know, that's, you know, just different acts and ways to serve and just keep going. You know what I mean? So I don't think twice about it. If somebody needed something, I give them a shirt off my back.
I know that's right. Be blessed bigger in the end.
Yeah, just wanting to continue to serve and just you know, give. And I know God has put me on this earth as that's one of the things that I do, and I've acknowledged that that's, you know, one of my purposes, and I try to make sure I fulfill that duty each and every day. Like not something where I'm searching, but I'm that type of person. Like if there's a need and it's something that's on my heart, I do it. Or something or somebody needs something from me, I'm always willing to assist in any way I can. You know what I mean? And that's a part of it, you know, and it could just be the simplest thing of smiling at somebody, opening the door and just saying thank you. You know what I mean? You can serve in so many different ways. And you know, I just try to make sure that I bring love and light to the world every day that I'm able to get. You know, no negative, I'm not about none of that. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't exemplify who I am or what I want to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? That's not a representation of my family name or anything like that. It's definitely not a representation of the Most High. And that's why I want to continue to, like I said, do my part and serve and give back and be there for people and just be the best example that I could be.
I love it.
It always feels good when you could do things with pure intentions. When you have a good space, your heart is good, and it's just like you just know it'll come back to you. You don't know how it's gonna come back, but as long as you're putting out positive energy, it's always great.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? And then on the flip side too, you know, many of us still face a lot of trials and tribulations, even with the biggest heart that we may have. I just encourage to continue to stay the course. You know, it's not easy because you never know. And I think that because I know there are also a lot of people who pay attention and they like, shit, I'm gonna bless these people because I know it's gonna come back.
Exactly.
That's wrong in itself. You just gotta do your part, and then God, you know what I'm saying, or the universe gonna take care of the rest. Like we gotta stop getting away with doing things just for, you know, some type of attention or expectation out of it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be just genuine and just come from a place of love.
That's true. So like to continue this foundation and giving back, like I've been seeing a lot of pizzas on your timeline. Did you call that pizza and peace? Did I get that? Because I was trying to hear.
It was peace and pizzas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like I had initially, like it was me and Dion Glover that we just started doing it. But prior to us doing it, I was already like, especially during this pandemic, I had partnered with a church and I had been doing work with some other folks, like I have been feeding people during the pandemic. I've been a part of a lot of different things where we was twice a week, like feeding 400 or 500 families.
That's amazing.
So I was still out doing that, as well as being active and being on the front lines with protesting and things like that. So I mean, I was just back and forth, just staying committed to the process, and that's something that kept me busy. I didn't want to. I'm never a person who's moving out of fear. You know what I'm saying? Thing like that. And I understand and I respect people who, with this pandemic and everything going on. But on my heart and my spirit, I'm just like, man, I can't stop living life or doing things for people because of the time that we in.
Right.
Because I don't think people think about it as much, but anything can happen once you walk outside your house.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So you could just be trying to get something to eat, or go get gas, or whatever the case may be. Maybe you had the sniffles and needed to go get some medicine, and you've been staying safe, and then all of a sudden you forget. You know what I mean? You might not wear gloves, or you might not wear your mask. I mean, anything can happen, man. And I just feel like, we have stopped living life, due to the things going on. And I've always encouraged people too, which is, a whole nother conversation. But I'm like, man, do your own research. Stop just feeding into what the media giving, because you got doctors that aren't on the same page. You got
and that's weird in itself.
You got politicians not on the same page. You got all police officers that aren't on the same page. You got some who wear masks, some who don't. Some who gonna tell you it's okay, some who gonna be like, man, whatever. Like, it's just one of those things. It'll just be different if everybody was on the same page. But it's like, man, nobody's on the same page. I'm not telling nobody to not be smart, because I still know when I'm out here, I'm gonna wear a mask and do everything that I can to protect myself. But you still never know what may happen.
Right.
So, at the end of the day, I just encourage people, man, to be smart about the way that you move. But shit, man, you got to still live your life and do the things that you feel is necessary to do.
Right. When you say live your life, because I literally was like, I'm not going anywhere, and I just literally locked myself in the living room, whatever. And Keita's like, you can't be like that. Like, when they said everything was somewhat open, like, go out, and I still wasn't going. I think I finally went out in August, like end of August.
I respect that, Queen. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's different, but
right.
I think too. You know what I'm saying? When we look at what we deal with in our community, like from a mental health standpoint, and how taxing that is, even if you don't go anywhere public, I just, like, I was encouraging people, like, man, just go for a walk.
Yeah, I did that.
Or go, if you got a house, or depending on your living situation, you can sit outside on your patio, or whatever. Like, just take a second to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Because it's tough when you're not used to doing certain things like that. Like, for me, I was able to adjust because I played overseas, and therefore you might go to some of these cities, you're never leaving your hotel room because the weather's crazy, and all you're doing is leaving the room to go play or practice. I know what it's like to be in one spot for 6 months at a time and order room service all day, every day, not really go nowhere, do nothing, and just sit still. And you learn how to entertain yourself. You learn how to, practice a lot of different habits and things that you probably wouldn't learn or do because you're so used to doing things the way that you do them. So being out the country, and if you're not going anywhere, if you don't speak the language, what else you gonna do?
Exactly.
So, I use this time, to definitely grow, to definitely learn about myself, and add some more healthy habits to my diet. You know what I mean? That's something that I thoroughly want to do because I want to be better each and every day. I still fall short.
Yeah.
I still make mistakes, but I own that. I don't run from that. But at the end of the day, ultimately, I want to be a better person. I want to be a better version of me. I want to be a better example for my kids. And anybody that might look to me for a word or some light or some love or whatever, I don't know. But I want to continue to be that example. And that doesn't mean you got to be perfect. It's just being real and acknowledging who you are and that you're willing to get up each and every day to continue to be better.
I'm here with you because that's been my thing. in this time while you're away from everybody, you should be better at the end of this. You should not be the same as how we came into it. You should definitely be working on something that you kind of haven't been, doing or put to the side or anything like that. So definitely agree with that. So um let's talk about like what 2020, like what it meant to you, like what you got out of it, what your outlook has been on this whole everything with the police brutality, with the pandemic, with the politics and all that. Like, how has it shifted how you look at a lot of things?
I mean, it don't really shift too much because a lot of things, I've been dealing with prior to the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like I know how it feels to be treated unfairly. I know how it feels to be locked up for something that you didn't do.
Right.
Um, I know how it feels to have your life be in danger. You know what I mean? I got stories of that, and some of the things that's happened to me didn't even happen to me here in the States. It was being overseas playing basketball. I've had,
Wow.
AR-15s pointed at my head with people that don't speak English. So it's like, how are you try to communicate with somebody and let them know whatever questions they might have is a tough thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Um, Shit, I remember I got arrested going to work when I was playing with the Hawks. Wrong officer on the wrong day.
Mm.
I wouldn't, and I didn't even do nothing, but it's just like life happens, and
Right.
in the moments you just continue to grow. Like one thing that I understand is, and some people they I've heard it often. It's like you give people the benefit of the doubt too much, or you make excuses for people, or you do this or you do that. And I,
Hmm.
and I understand their outlook, but at the same time, I'm a person that understands people. And what I mean by that is when you're human, that means you're imperfect. You're going to go through something. You might have a bad day. You might got some other shit that you're dealing with. I don't know. And then there are some people who just flat out got hate in their heart. There's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing that anybody could do about a person that's just on some bullshit for the day.
Yeah.
You just got to try to make the best of it as you can. And for me, like when it comes to dealing with the police, I always got this saying that I say, and that's this: I'm going home. I'm not,
Okay.
Right.
I'm not here to argue with no cop. I'm not here to debate anything. Yes, yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I always make sure my spirit and my energy is calm. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure I give whatever is asked of me to do, because it's all about going home. This ain't no pride and ego shit. Like I ain't
Yeah.
I ain't trying to be putting myself in a situation, um, for me to not come home and see my family. Hell no. So,
Hmm.
That's
I think that a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, especially our kings, man, we gotta get away from that. And I know, shit, there's a lot of intelligent brothers. You know the law. I get it. I know the law too, but that's why they got attorneys. That's why they got people in place
right.
that are capable to fight your battles for you, so that you can live to see another day. It'll never be that, major. And I think too, also reading the situation. If you feel that a person got some energy, leave that alone. But there are a lot of good officers out here too that don't mind having a conversation with you. So it's just understanding what it is. And I feel like we put ourselves in these situations, and then people get so upset, you know what I'm saying, when things happen. Now again, that doesn't mean that there hasn't been unfortunate situations. I am not here making an excuse for anybody being killed, murder,
Right.
whatever you want to call it. That is not what I'm saying.
And
But all we can do is control what we can control.
Right.
I've seen that a couple of times because I was about to say that same thing. I've seen it a couple of times on like social media when they have like viral videos and be like, why do they talk to him? Like, why do they do that? And it's like sometimes you're looking at the suspect or the person they're detaining, and it's like, why were you acting that way? That was uncalled for. All you had to do was calm down and just talk to the officer or just comply with what they said. That's it. That's all you got to do. But they making the situation, they blow it out of proportion for no reason. And not everything is called for that type of behavior or that type of action at all times. It's
Well,
like,
yeah, you're right, and I think two sides to that, because on one side I feel that you know, I mentioned this months ago because there was a situation that actually happened in Clayton County, which is my side of town where I'm from. And there was an officer who pulled a gun out on these kids. But at the time,
yeah, I saw. Yeah, that was a couple.
Yeah, at the time we saw the clip, all you saw was the officer pulling the gun out on the kids. We didn't see or know anything prior to. And I think too, a lot of people are so quick to judge because of what it looks like instead of really understanding all the way around all the details. I think that's one part of it. And then the other part of it is too, I feel like we kind of, you know, will put ourselves in a situation because, you know, we'll pull our phone out and we'll make a scene and make it seem like these phones are gonna save us too, and that's not always the case.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll have somebody recording, and you know, you feel like the world is seeing, and this is gonna help. This is my get out of jail free card. But with some of these officers, man, they don't give a fuck.
They don't.
They don't. They don't. So they, you know, in the way that the laws are the way that the laws are, it's like you riding a fine line, especially when somebody else is in control of that. It's just a decision. If they're making decisions like this, anything can happen. And that's what I think people don't understand. Like, they're human just like you are. They have on a uniform, and they're trained, you know, and you just don't know how that turns out. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, I got buddies who are police officers or retired or doing, you know, security work for other people. And when you hear those types of officers talk, and they talk about, you know, the amount of training and years that they have in and how they look at situations, it just makes you think, man, like, don't sit up there and be like every officer's bad because one does something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We just got to get away with that. We're so emotional. And I'm not here to tell people they're not bad to feel the way that they do, but we got to start sticking to the facts. We got to start getting to that point where we move in a way where we're not led by our emotions, and we want to really, you know, get solutions and really gain understanding. You know what I mean? And we got to do better with that. People. It's not a black-white thing. It's not nothing like that. I'm just saying people.
Yeah. So how are you pretty much like talking to your kids about it? Like, how are you preparing them? Or is it too early?
My foundation is just preparing them in life altogether. I think that if, you know, they understand how to be respectful of people, you know, how to move, you know, to apologize when you're wrong, and understanding that there might be some times where you got to be the bigger person, even if you're right. Just giving them a strong foundation across the board, because it's not just about dealing with cops. You might have a bullshit ass teacher. You know what I'm saying? You might have a doctor who doesn't care, or a dentist who doesn't care. You might, I mean, it's just so many things that we deal with often that we don't think about. And it's not just the police. Like, if you don't think that them people got other ways of getting to us if they want to, it's like I said, it's not just your police officers, it's your doctors, it's your dentists, it's your lawyers. You know what I'm saying? It's so many people who are out here that are supposed to be protecting, you know, or serving in some type of way. And at the end of the day, man, we're getting locked up, or we're dying at the hands of so many different things that people got to wake up and pay attention. Yeah. And that doesn't even include what we're doing to ourselves in our own community. Can't forget about that.
Ooh, you hit it, right? You hit it. So we're gonna end this and start part 2 to finish up this interview with Mr. Josh Powell. It's been super dope, this part 1, but tune in to part 2.